Yesterday's price is not today's price.
What's going on, folks? Yesterday's price, of course, is not today's price, and we know that. That's why we do this FOC Top 10. How's it going, Dr. Paul?
Great. Thursday.
Yeah, man, you look great. You got a glow to you. What's been going on?
I came straight from the gym. So.
Straight from where?
I got an echo.
You have an echo?
The gym. Yeah.
Let's work on your echo. Is it like me talking a few times? Like, you hear me talking twice?
No, I hear you perfectly. I'm echoing.
You are echoing.
Yeah.
What can we do about that? We got to get rid of your echo, man.
Yep.
Is it still there?
Hello? No.
No, I hear you fine.
I hear myself twice though.
Really? Let me see. Let's try to fix your echo real quick, because there's no reason to hear yourself twice, because once the information you put out is good. Still an echo?
Test. No, that did it.
Yeah?
Yeah, you got it. You're the man.
All right, let's do a sound check. How am I coming across on your end?
You sound great. In fact, I think I turned it down a little bit because of my echo, but now I can turn it back up a little.
Turn it back up, man. Turn the volume up. Listen, man, I love coming through loud and
you
clear.
Sound very, right, and baritone-ish, right?
Baritone.
Yeah, there you go.
Who's the famous baritone singer?
Oh, I don't know.
Pavarotti.
Is that true?
Do I have a Pavarotti presence going right now?
Probably.
Okay, because he sounds like...
I sat next to Harvey in 8th grade choir, and he was an actual baritone that was very close to being a true bass. He had like such a great deep voice.
In 8th grade?
Yeah, Harvey was the man.
Dude, Harvey had hormone problems, man. Dude.
I don't think it was a problem. That's what I'm saying.
Jesus. Did he have a mustache?
He was ahead of the game. Of course he did, yeah. Yeah, he was ahead of the game.
Shout out to Harvey, man. Hey, so if anyone that's out there watching live, of course, like and subscribe, or as you're watching the video on your own time, like and subscribe. Hit the like button. That's free. Just to hit the like button. It helps out. Also, you know what? People should copy and paste this link on like their Instagram or something like that, because I have some local guys, like some local yokels, that hit me up at the comic book store, and one guy hits me up at the gym, and I swear to God, I know he's listening. He's always talking about how he can never find my channel. I'm like, dude, the Bad Boy Nerd on YouTube.
Yep.
Or Instagram.
But the more people the more people subscribe, the easier it'll be for him to find, because the higher it'll go in the search.
Exactly. So if he really wants to find me, he should be liking the hell out of this.
That's right.
Yeah, man.
He should find you once, like you a lot, so he can find you again.
There you go. What's going on, Mo? MA3 is in the house. He's a regular dude. We got a great show tonight. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to waste too much time because NBA playoffs is going on. I kind of want to watch the game, but at the same time, you, sir, have a lot of great info to put out. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump to your info first. All right. Okay. We got to talk about that, because what you told me off camera is amazing. We need to tell these people. As a matter of fact, Dr. Paul, listen, we give away so much dope information.
Right.
And I'm tracking like the metrics of the stuff we talk about. I'm tracking the metrics in the performance of the books. I mean, what would you say for the valuation based on my FOC top 10s that I put out every week? Give me like a good esoteric valuation in your opinion.
I mean, this is the way I would think about it. If I were somebody who was buying new comic books and I didn't want to miss out on something because it was sold out by the time I got down there on Wednesday or Thursday. Or life takes over and it's not till the weekend. And I don't want to have to pay $20 for a $3 comic book or a $4 comic book, right? So even if I were just paying for a service that made sure that would never happen to me, the value it would create would be at least 20, 40 bucks a month if I were just a regular comic book consumer, right?
Right.
That means if I paid 10 bucks a month for that service, then I'm money ahead.
Yes.
Because if it saves me just one book a month that I can get for $5 instead of 15 bucks, then it paid for itself, right? And if it's 2 books, then I'm already ahead. I think that is, if I were like an economist and I were trying to put a value on an FOC list, I would say it's minimally something like $10 a month, because it creates that much value if you consume new comic books, right? If you buy new comic books, which presumably, viewers of the FOC list do. So I think that's kind of the entry level. That's the minimum. Now, if I were actually trying to flip comics, if I were trying to acquire a bunch of multiples and then try to turn, start with $100 and then turn it into $200 and turn it into $500 and try to have my hobby pay for itself, well, then I would actually be, I could imagine like putting a value on it even quite a bit higher with the value that it creates. And again, with the proven track record. So that's one way to think about it. I mean, I think, it's interesting thinking when you think about a deal and you think two people, like somebody sells a comic, somebody buys a comic, both of them feel good about it, right?
Right.
And that transaction happened. If you want to think about it in one sense, you go, well, one of them must be wrong, right? Because they can't both be happy. But that's not really true, right? Like that's
not true. Yeah,
that's level zero.
Value is what a person's willing to pay.
Exactly, that's level zero, right? It. The next level up is when you say, well, it was a transaction that both people benefited from, and that's what you do here on the FOC list, right? Create value for people. And
all I ask from people is simply follow me and turn on alerts. Like it's a mantra. I say it every week. Follow me and turn on alerts. Follow me and turn on alerts. Follow me and turn on alerts. And you'll get all this free valuation. As a matter of fact, in one of our previous episodes, we actually identified for the year of 2023, we identified how much money people could have actually made just by watching this FOC Top 10 show. Right. And it's in the thousands, like literally thousands of dollars. Yeah. And on a handful of books. Every month, there's at least one home run every single month.
There's a few winners every month. And, look, they got to do work too, right? They got to hunt them down. They got to make those transactions. They got to hustle out there and sell them while they're still hot sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to he who will not be named. He was like, dude, I love your list, but I don't know how to flip as good as you. I was like, I said, well, hey, man, don't go overboard. Yeah, I've been selling since 1990. Ever since I learned what eBay was, I've been selling. So anyway, great show. Dr. Paul, I actually love this format. This format we do, it's so low key. It's so basement level. This shit is like, because I don't have corporate sponsors. No one's sponsoring me. I have a Patreon that's not even active. This is literally from my heart and blood, sweat, and tears. This shit is like, it's like pirate radio, man. Right. The old school days of pirate radio, And
we have such great rapport because we relate on so many levels, and we value the same things here. And we're just trying to create some community and share what we've been through. Right. And I think that's a big part of it, and that comes across, I think, and that's a big part of the community that I'm trying to create on my channel. I know, and that I wouldn't be here with you unless I felt we were kindred spirits in that.
The information you put out, I told you when I first met you, it's so just ridiculously game changing. There's no way if I were you, I wouldn't put it out for free. F all that noise. But anyway, let's get the show started. We got a great FOC Top 10. we have a winner for the Star Wars mystery box from the Star Wars. Anyone who actually watched the Star Wars episode, I put that mystery phrase in the middle of the episode. I said it twice. All you had to do to enter was send me the mystery phrase on Instagram. Some people actually sent it to me. They will be in a drawing. We're going to do that drawing during the show. So you got to stick around for that to see if you are the winner. But first, we're going to go ahead and hand the floor over to you. And you're going to talk about the topic you're talking about.
I'm going to talk about a couple of recent videos on my channel to introduce them to your audience and your subscribers and get some crosstalk going between our channels. So one of the videos that I did recently that I think will be especially pertinent for the folks that are on your channel and that follow you, because, you know, a lot of the modern game is 9/8, right? A lot of the modern game is getting a slabbed copy because, you know, there's a lot of these books around. It's not like Golden Age books where we have, you know, a couple dozen in the census, right? And so one way to differentiate, if you're collecting moderns, you know, a lot of people are collecting those. Sorry, I've got somebody literally blowing me up on all channels right now. Anyway, and so one of the things that you hear in our hobby is buy the comic, not the grade, right? And if you're new to the game, you might think a 9/8 is a 9/8 is a 9/8, you know, and if you're looking at older books, you might think a 6 is a 6 is a 6. When you look into these things, though, it really is. Discerning collectors have figured out a 6 is not a 6. A CGC 9.8 is not a CGC 9.8. And so it's difficult unless you have books in front of you and unless you have or a lot of experience, it's difficult to really see the difference. So I put together this video. I have a Thor 225. That's the first appearance of Firelord. And I have a slab 9.4 and a slab 9.6. And I use a really good light and some magnification. And we go over every flaw. We go over the grader's notes from CGC, which, you know, they don't always give grader notes for 9.4s and 9.6s. We actually, fortunately, had grader's notes even for the 9.6. And
is that random how they do their notes?
It seems like it. A lot of people would believe that. I think they tend to do fewer notes now than they used to back in the day. And I think also it just depends on the grader. It depends on whether or not they feel like the flaws are consistent with the grade, right? So like for a 9.4, there's a bunch of things you sort of expect. You tend to get grader's notes if you have flaws that aren't within that normal range, right? But at any rate, I go through this video, which I think your viewers will appreciate. I walk through everything from the grader's notes, and we can see it under good light and magnification. And then what I do is I dismantle the two grades, and I think I demonstrate pretty clearly that this 9.4 is just a better book than the 9.6. Even though it has, I think, about $400 less fair market value than the 9.6, it's a superior book. And as a matter of fact, I have both of these in my personal collection. The 9.6 is in my, it's in the vault, ready to be sold when we see Firelord in the MCU. And the 9.4 is the one that's in my PC. So I think that's something, like I said, that your viewers will benefit from, because if you're a modern collector, it's really important to know what a 9.4 looks like, what a 9.6 looks like, what a 9.8 looks like, and also that not all 9.8s are created equal. So that's one thing that I've done recently. Another thing that I'm doing is I started a new Golden Age restoration. I mean,
look at this. You really did you create this graph we're looking at?
No, these are, so I subscribe to Go Collect, and these data are Go Collect, but that's the data that are behind their subscription wall. Yeah, I give you a little peek. Just I think it's fair use regarding the books that we're talking about. It's not like I'm giving you my password into there. And Go Collect, I really like the data from Go Collect. Obviously there are other competitors out there, and again, they don't sponsor me or anything. But
well, so hold on, you got a 9.4 and a 9.6 side by side right here.
Yeah. Yeah. And, here in this image, you can tell a little bit that the 9.4 is more vivid. But, watch the video. I break it down. I go through all the flaws. And the 9.4 is it's the book you want of these two. So, buy the book, not the grade. That's the bottom line.
So wait a minute. I just want to be clear. So in essence, you're saying when you get a chance to look over the book, like pick the better looking book regardless of the grade?
So what I do is I go through exactly true, right? Like, so when you're online, it's sometimes limited, right? And even in a store, a lot of stores, frankly, I don't want to name names, but a lot of stores actually have poor lighting on purpose.
You're actually look how close in the detail you get on this book.
Oh yeah. A lot of stores actually have poor lighting on purpose. When you have the books in your possession, you can use like really high quality light, and you can really pull out all the flaws, and you can tell the difference. It's actually very straightforward to see all the flaws in this 9.6. And when you do that, you can evaluate a book on another level. So that's what this video is about, is sort of teaching people how to do that. Maybe they don't have the experience I have, right?
No one has the experience you have. You are literally.
I appreciate that, but there's a lot of great
You're literally a doctor of paper.
That's true. So that's actually that's a good segue. I wanted to mention one other series I got started. And what I did was I restarted my comic book, like Golden Age conservation series. And I published actually a video where I break down. So what I did was in the paper conservation literature, there's a accepted number of steps that a conservator would go through to conserve a comic book, or I'm sorry, a paper document, like say the Declaration of Independence or whatever, right?
Is this a good example right here? This best comics?
Yeah, actually, do you know what? If you can see the titles, one of them, or if you see the thumbnails, one of the videos says "revealed" in big letters across the thumbnail. Can you see the thumbnails? I'll talk to it while you look for the thumbnails.
Yeah.
So what I did was this would be the next video I want to talk about, J-Dub. If you go to back to my list and look at the thumbnails and look at the one that says "revealed" in big letters across it.
Okay. All right, we'll do that.
What I did was I took the list of steps that a paper conservator that's accepted within the paper conservation literature, again, for somebody who's a museum curator or librarian, something like that. They have 7 steps.
In my opinion, with the way the market is going, that is the next big thing.
Yeah.
Like we're past slabs now. Slabs are passe. You know what I mean? Like now we're talking about restoration, paper restoration, conservation.
Yeah, exactly.
But the acceptable, like you said, the acceptable amount to retain a blue label, correct?
Super important, right? And this is just like as these different hobbyist markets mature, this happens in all of them. 100 years ago, if you collected antique furniture, you would strip it all down and refinish it, right?
Right.
Today, that's a big no-no. You strip all the value, right? Because they want the patina, they want the original finish. Comic books are going through the same thing. 15 years ago, you would get your All-Star number 8, you would just get it completely restored, and somebody would basically rebuild the book. Today, that book is worth a quarter of a raw book because people
really
want the original,
love the original paper.
And so conservation, what conservation is, and CGC has done a great job in defining this, and it has its own category. It's still a blue label with a gray bar on the top. And conservation is basically conserving the book for the next generation so that we don't have the books destroy themselves. Because you've heard me before, this paper literally will eat itself if you leave it alone over time.
Right. Is this you at work in your lab?
Exactly right. Yep. And
Wow.
so what I did was I took from the paper literature. So this literature goes back at least 1,000 years. I took what is the accepted 7 steps for paper conservation, and I applied it to comic books over the last few years, and I developed my own system. And so I have 9 steps because we almost
Hold
always
on.
deal with.
Wait.
Yeah.
Did you?
And I break them all down in this video.
No. Did you say you're using techniques from 1,000 years?
Oh yeah, you know that you've heard lately people say, "Oh, I use the blue LED, the new
Right.
new technique," right? Thousands of years ago in
Bro,
Europe,
we're talking ancient Egypt papyrus.
in Europe, they were taking
Yeah.
paper and they were soaking it in soda ash and they were laying it in the field to get sunlight on it so that they could bleach it.
Wow.
Literally.
Wow.
In fact,
and
there's
these
a
are
whole
techniques that
industry
have
around
held
it.
up. These techniques have held up over the years.
Absolutely.
And you can apply a type of technique to comic book paper.
Exactly. But there's wrong ways to do it. You can also destroy a comic book, right?
Right.
So what I'm doing is I'm taking those methods and I'm normalizing them into my own list. I have 9 steps. I reveal them in this video. And then in my videos after that, like the one you were just browsing through, I refer to those 9 steps and I say, this is the steps we're doing today. And these are the techniques we use specifically for this step. And you saw, I tend to I'll put up the chemical reaction. I'll put up the reference for the paper. Just this past one that you were just looking at. We got
to show this to the folks, man. Look. Okay, for you guys listening live, when I always talk about, I kind of do a tongue in cheek, Sorcerer Supreme, the comic book sorcerer. But guys, you need to see these techniques. Like, look at this. Look at this. Get away from me.
So this is a Golden Age book from January 1945. And what I'm doing is I'm separating the interior wraps from the cover. And one of the things we had to do here, we have some glue removal. We have a bunch of things we have to deal with on this book. The paper is actually super acidic. So we want to deacidify it. And so this is the sort of stuff we're doing. That's the first wrap being separated from the cover right there, where they were glued together. And so it turns out I looked into the literature, deacidification of paper. The earliest reference I could find was from 1890.
Jesus Christ, man. Yeah. This is some next level stuff, man.
So for the historians that are interested, or the folks that really just want to be informed, I provide that reference and, who it was that started working on this in the 1890s, right? And then who the most current authors are. What's interesting? Because a lot of this comes from library sciences, it's a lot of females. A lot of the most important papers have been published by female authors, which
we need to start doing shout outs to these.
It's rare in science.
We really do.
We need
to shout them out.
Margaret Hayes. Well, I do it in my videos. So Margaret Hayes is she did all the definitive work on deacidification of paper in the 70s and 80s for conservation work. We're still using her techniques today because no one's done a better job.
Are you working on a book? Are you compiling this information into a book?
Oh, I should be, right? I think I kind of am in the background, J-Dub, because the outline. So I wrote an outline for myself for that video, and each of those steps in the outline would be a chapter in a book. And now, as I'm going through, I'm kind of filling in the details of those chapters, right? So I kind of am.
When we eventually open our comic book shop here in the Central Texas area, we're gonna partition a lab for you, and you have to wear the lab coat, the monocle. You got to look like the doctor from Cannonball Run. And every once in a while, I just want you to step out into the shop with your lab coat, looking scruffy, like you never get something. I'm just kidding.
Right. It's kind of true, right? Yeah.
No, it's funny though. I just, when you talk about 1,000-year method and updating it, and it works and it pertains to the modern era, I truly believe this is the next step for the comic book collecting hobby. As a matter of fact, I always tell you and anyone else who's listening, when I got back into comic book collecting in 2019, you were one of the first videos I found, and I was like, what the F is this guy doing? Like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
And I was watching your videos, and I got like cleaning supplies from your recommendation. Yeah, like I got all these supplies from your recommendations. I started cleaning books. I'm like, oh shit, I'm next level over here. Then I saw your wet cleaning. I'm like, this guy's wetting the paper. What is he doing? But then now that we know each other, I understand the method behind your madness.
We're trying to make sure these books are around another 80 years, right?
Yes.
And they're just, frankly, they're not going to be if we don't, do some conservation on them. So,
dude, this information takes my breath away. I got to pause for a drink real quick. I got a cold one. This is my favorite beer right here. My Ohio State mug was let me just do this real quick. Archer moment.
Oh, I still have to open that cherry Coke that you owe me on camera, I think. Like, just put it right in the mic and just.
That's so good. Dr. Paul, thank you for that information. That was awesome. I hope you guys out there are soaking that in. Go back, rewatch the segment that he just did.
Yeah.
Buy the book, not the grade, conservation. Rewatch it. Go to his page. I'm going to put your link down in the comment section. I'm going to pin it down there so people can go to your page. But I tell you what, Dr. Paul, here's what we need to do right now. All right. What we need to do is I'm gonna hand this over to you, the screen over to you. I'm gonna go get this information together real quick. Okay, that didn't work. We need to do the giveaway.
Oh,
right? Yeah, because
this is exciting. I mean, even though myself and my family and friends were all excluded from being in the drawing,
So give them a brief. Fill these guys in and tell them what we did in a previous episode.
Right. So on the May the 4th, we had the Star Wars themed FOC. J-Dub showed up full Sith, which was great, and did a lot of review of Star Wars books in particular, and dropped a secret code word in the May the 4th show. And that code word he had rules for sending that code word to him. I think it had to be DM to you on IG, right? And then that puts you in the drawing for something special.
Yes.
And today is the reveal.
Yes.
Of both what the drawing prize is and the winner.
Yes, that is true. So, without further ado, if you watched the May the 4th episode, you had, 2 weeks to give me to watch the episode. By the way, that information was amazing. Would you not agree?
It also was the best episode ever in history.
It was the best episode ever.
Mm-hmm.
We did we did a top Star Wars FOC of the past 2 years. Once again, I gave away a ton of valuable information. I literally went through the list and told you exactly which books to hunt down.
And the top 10 list was fire.
Oh, dear God, yeah. The secret word, by the way, was force multiplier. Get it? Force multiplier. That was a secret phrase. I dropped it in the middle of the broadcast. Anyway, I got the list of people. I'm not going to reveal the names, but I do have you. If you sent me your name, I have you on here, and I'm gonna go ahead and draw the name. I'm gonna do the wheel, and then let's do this real quick. I'm not gonna do a share screen. I'm just gonna do it off screen, and here we go.
You're very trustworthy. Where's that drum roll? Oh, you can't do drum roll and spin the wheel. I have to learn a few skills at some point, I guess. I got to bring something to the table here other than my pretty face.
I can't believe who won. It's funny because I'm all like, it can't be this guy. No, there were a number of names, but actually the winner of the Star Wars FOC mystery box is Astro Wizard.
Sweet. Congratulations.
Yeah. Dude, Astro Wizard, he's badass, man. You've seen his work that he does on the custom covers?
I have not.
Oh,
I'm
you
a
don't
little
follow.
embarrassed to admit it, but
You
I
don't
guess
follow
I got to
Astro
follow
Wizard
him.
on Instagram. Oh, you got to follow him, dude. You
Okay.
got to follow him.
I'll do that right now.
All right. So I don't know if Astro Wizard is watching live, but we talk literally every day. This is what he wins in the Star Wars FOC. He wins High Republic Adventure #1, which has like all
Yeah.
of the first appearances. He wins the High Republic #1, first printing, which again has a bunch of first
Oh yeah,
appearances.
big book.
He wins Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures #6. It's one of the bigger books from that series. Oh,
Nice.
these are all near mint
These
plus,
are
by the
all
way.
gems.
Yeah, he wins Star Wars: The High Republic #7.
Nice.
All right, he wins Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures, Monster of Temple Peak. Ty York, her character, big book, and she's actually in some upcoming stuff. And
J-Dub's not
finally, he
messing around.
wins. He wins what I consider one of the more key characters. He wins the Jabba the Hutt
Oh yeah.
first appearance of Diva Lompop Chang variant. So yeah,
Beautiful
man.
cover.
Yeah, we're looking at easily somewhere between $60 to $80 valuation.
Yeah.
Actually, there's one more book that he did. There's one more book that he does get. Let me grab it real quick. Take over the mic and rap to the people for a second.
Rap to the people.
Rap to the people, freestyle.
It's been a while. It's been a while. Well, that's J-Dub's not messing around. That's a great mystery pack. And I did just follow Astro Wizard. Looks like he has a great page on IG. This is his original art? That's bananas. I'm looking forward to checking that out. And I'm looking forward to seeing what J-Dub's bringing back here to add to that mystery pack. And then I'm really looking forward to the FOC tonight.
All right, this was actually in the pack. I forgot to put it out here, but the granddaddy of, well, I don't know about the granddaddy, but he also wins Star Wars High Republic Adventures Annual.
Yeah.
So people might think this is a very fat key issue, 2021. So yeah,
this is the one that had like 14 first appearances.
Yeah, it had like 14 first appearances. Yeah. So
Wow.
I really wanted to celebrate the Star Wars, FOC, and all of these for me were FOC buys. So
Yeah.
I got all of these at retail.
Very nice.
But the valuation is through the roof at this point.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
that's
Astro
a generous
Wizard, man.
gift.
I'll reach out to him, and he was the winner. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Congratulations, Astro Wizard.
Yeah.
Astro winner.
Wizard. Astro Wizard is the winner. All right, here we go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right.
All right. This week's FOC top 10. Final order cutoff. You got to get your orders in before the cutoff date. Dr. Paul, I've told you my story numerous times. When I got back into collecting, I kept wondering why I kept missing all the key books, all the hot books, all the great covers. And then finally someone like, oh, there's this thing called final order cutoff. And I'm like, ooh, final order cutoff. Then I figured out FOC. So I took it upon myself to compile a list every week.
Yeah.
And I post that list every week on my Instagram.
And we saw your notes. We know you put a lot of work into this list. I mean, it's obvious just from the quality of the list, I'll be honest. Like, I knew you had to have those kind of notes behind it, because there's no way to put together that high quality list week in and week out unless you're doing the work. You got to put the work in. So I knew you had a list like that, but it was still impressive to see, I have to say.
You saw the list. You're like, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it was impressive.
All right. Hey, hey, what's up, Ed? There he is. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so hey, without further ado, let's kick it off. FOC top 10. We do a countdown style. Starting at number 10, pure cover play. This is a pure cover play, and I just really got tired of people DMing me talking about, how come you don't have her in your list? She's got dope covers. So I'm like, you know what? She finally made it, coming in at number 10. Pure, beautiful cover. She finally made it.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, Wonder Woman has cracked the FLC top 10. Wonder Woman 800. There she is. All right. Wonder Woman
Beautiful.
800. This is cover C. And I'm a huge fan of Jamal Campbell. He does amazing work.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Didn't you have a Wonder Woman black and gold cover last year?
I think I did have the Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
That's
there you
like
go.
the last time she made one of my lists.
Just remind them haters that you had it.
You know, they're not so
I
much
remember.
haters. They're enthusiasts.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Yep. They're just thirsty for more Wonder Woman.
Dude, and I don't blame them, because Wonder Woman, when depending on the artist, she's rendered beautifully. Okay.
Don't get me started, J-Dub. As you know, I'm a fan of the Golden Age, and I actually think Wonder Woman is the greatest of all the Golden Age heroes. If you read her origin story, it makes Batman's origin and Superman's origin look like somebody wrote them down with crayons on a napkin. I mean, yeah. Again, don't get me started, because I know we got a lot to do yet, but I'm there with you. I'm there with you.
Right. Now, 800 does have some great covers, like he was talking, like, Mo's cover. Yeah, no, great covers. Mo, this one has Yar Floor, so that's it. End of story. Yar Floor is my boo thing. She my bae. So this is the one for me. Huge Jamal Campbell fan. You know what? I want to show the guys something. I want to show y'all, when I do these lists, usually there's about 15 books, but there's only 10 spots.
Yeah.
Only 10 books can make it. So without further ado, and the world's tiniest violin, let's look at the ones who did not make it this week. All right, let's do that.
The nearly made it list.
They nearly made it. All right, so Dr. Paul, here's the one that did not make it. Here's one of them.
Oh, what's this?
Last Barbarian, number 5.
Barbarian 5.
Did not make it. Gorgeous.
Damn.
Brian Haberlin. Beautiful virgin cover at retail cover price.
Wow.
Can you believe it? You know what? It came down to this or Wonder Woman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I did the Wonder Woman fans a favor.
Yeah.
Here's another really hot one that did not make it, but it cracked the top 15, but did not make it. And this is a great cover.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Catwoman 56. This is a Swaby cover.
Wow.
Look at that. That's gorgeous. You know what I like about this cover? She kind of looks like Trinity from The Matrix.
She does a little bit.
Yeah, I got that vibe.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. She's in an elevator. You see the guy next to her. You see he's got the brass knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
And do you notice what she's holding in her hand? Look at that. She's got that whip.
Yeah.
I just love detail like that.
I think the boys are in trouble, probably.
That's what it looks like.
They think she's in trouble, but actually they're in trouble. So it tells the story, even though it's just no words, right? It's great.
Exactly. Here's another one that just missed out, but this is a great cover. And some of you guys, when you see this, you probably think this should have been on there. It just didn't make the top 10. Look at that.
What? Oh, yeah. I saw somebody else post this today.
I mean, it's beautiful, man. The Avenger. This is the Mark Brooks is doing corner box variants. These are great. I love it.
These are bananas. I used to love the corner boxes when I was a kid. Those, especially for the team books, where they would just have the heads of of all the members of the team.
Right.
I used to love that.
And what's crazy?
And Burn.
No one ever thought to do that before, to do the corner box as the full page.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here's the last one that did not make it, but it's still a great cover. So
there you go.
Something Epic number 2, Back to the Future homage.
Yeah.
Great story. I think it needs to pick up the pace a little bit, but I see where it's going. But yeah, I'll be getting this. It just didn't crack the top 10 this week, but I
Of
will
course.
be
Yeah.
getting this one. I got the Eminem one is my favorite. I got the Eminem cover,
Mm-hmm.
the Eminem show homage.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, that's the other one. So yeah, all right. So
Very
you guys
cool.
got a sneak peek into the one. So let's get going with number
Number
9.
9.
Now this one, guys in the trenches watching. Someone put me onto this about 5-6 weeks ago. As a matter of fact, it was Empire. Empire put me onto this next one. But I'm gonna tell you what I feel about it. And coming in at number 9, Moon Knight 25.
Wow.
Massive,
Oh, man.
massive issue, major issue.
Wow.
100-page giant.
Wow.
It's a 100-page giant selling for $10.
Wow.
Yeah, but what you're looking at right here is the 1 in 25 ratio by Maria Wolf. All right. I'm not the biggest Moon Knight fan, but the significance of this issue is that the girl from the Disney Plus series who played Layla Fioli, the Egyptian
Mm-hmm.
girl,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to introduce Scarlet Scarab in this issue.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's a backwards adaptation. They're bringing the
Sure.
MCU
Yeah.
character, to the comic
Yeah.
book.
Like Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So her debut's in
Awesome.
number 25. It's a
Very
100-page giant.
Wow.
It's a $10 book, but I'm figured if you're going to pay $10 for a book, you might as well get the ratio.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is a dope ass ratio.
Wow. Yeah. I really love Egyptian sort of iconography. I actually was always drawn to Moon Knight because of it. I really enjoy just all of the style, the art direction,
Right.
and the iconography. So that's stunning. That's beautiful.
It is. It is. And it's got about a dozen variants.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if you're going to plunk down $10, you might as well just plunk down $30 to get the ratio, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Make it
It's
special.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
those are the ones ultimately, the only thing I would say is unless one of them has her on the cover, that'd be another one I'd look at.
As of this show, she did not appear on any of the variant covers.
Right.
And
I would definitely go for this variant.
Yeah, but she will be making her Scarlet Scarab debut this summer. So her official first appearance is in Moon Knight 25. That being said, let's move on to number 8. Number 8's kind of a gimme because it's so. Yeah, I'll show you. Coming in at number 8, the New Incredible Hulk series. New Incredible Hulk. Who's writing this series? Oh, PK Philip Johnson. PK Johnson's writing. Nick Klein is drawing. And who doesn't love Scott Young? Scotty Young, man. Who doesn't love it?
This is a little bit of a departure from his normal style too. Just a little bit. I mean, it's clearly Scotty Young, but it's enough different, that you can get a little variety in it, which keeps it fresh.
There were some really decent covers out there, but this is like the second Hulk series in as many years. And Scotty Young, people always go for the Scotty Youngs first.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I just love that. Just like you said, this is so different from everything else.
Normal stuff. Yeah. I like it.
Right.
It's, I mean, if there is a criticism of Scotty Young, it's a lot of the same thing over and over again. Right. And so to still have a very distinct look, but to do something fresh is great here.
Yeah, this new run is supposed to be a horror series. PK Johnson's killing it, man. He's doing some stuff with DC. He's doing a Marvel book. So yeah, this is going to be like a Hulk horror run, and I'm looking forward to it. So number 7. Now, number 7, if anyone watches the show and follow me on Instagram, you've already seen this cover before, but this is the actual FOC because I kind of jumped the gun a little bit. So this is the official ranking for this next cover. Great cover. Coming in at number 7. Gunslinger Spawn, number 21, cover C, both.
Incredible.
When I first put this on the FOC, I was like a month too early.
Yeah. Now
And
tell me, J-Dub, did you get the McFarlane toys from back in the day? You got the Gunslinger Spawn action figure?
I do not. I'm pretty sure it's dope though.
Crazy. I mean, McFarlane was just so ahead of the game. You know, now Mattel and Hasbro, they're putting out, you know, figures on that same level, but he was doing that. He was doing that 30 years ago.
Yeah, he revolutionized the toy game for sure.
It's crazy. Yeah.
He went from toys like looking like this to like, you know.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, first appearance of Gunslinger Spawn was as a toy, and then they put it in the book after.
Yep, that's exactly right. From what I understand, yeah. Now, this is an
cool.
amazing cover, man. I think when I first featured it, it was just a trade dress, but since then, this is a virgin cover this is cover C. So this is open order. Yeah, so I'll probably just get this just to have this cover because I love it. I love it.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I've been waiting for it to finally debut so I can put it on the list. Coming in at number 6, all you fans are going to love this next one. I heard good things. This is the Great Miles Morales series. This is the 1 in 10. Let me see. Did I get that on there? Yeah. This is the 1 in 10 debut of Miles getting his own Iron Spider suit.
Yeah. The design variant.
Yeah. This is the 1 in 10 design variant.
They killed it. They killed it with the suit too.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we're going to leave this up, but Torrin Clark, I know you guys, I know there's some Torrin Clark fans out there. He posted on his Instagram. He debuted his connecting cover early on his Instagram, so I got to look at it, right? And he's being real hush-hush about the connecting issue, but we're going to go ahead and show you the Miles connecting issue. I personally like the design variant better, but here's the actual Torrin Clark right here. Throw that up there. All right.
Oh, wow.
So this is a connecting issue, and then he's being real hush-hush about the following issue that connects to this. He said it's going to be a great spoiler.
Whose fist is that over there above Taskmaster's head, right?
Yeah. And then whatever's coming next in the Carnage storyline.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. The one. So, yeah, if you're not following Torrin Clark, he does some amazing work.
I feel like Miles' costume is a step above Peter's, and I feel like Miles' Iron Spider is a step above Peter's Iron Spider too, just in terms of overall design and impact. It's just a better looking costume.
If you paid attention, well, you probably, because you don't read modern comics, but in Spider-Man 7, it's kind of implied that Miles is going to be the main Spider-Man, the main continuity Spider-Man of the multiverse.
Yeah, well,
almost like Peter's going to take a back seat to it. So,
well, he ought to be. Peter Parker should be in an old folks' home by now. Come on, he was a teenager in 1962.
But yeah, Miles Morales Spider-Man number 7 comes in at number 6. This is the 1 in 10. Yeah, I'll be getting this one. I'll probably get 2 of them. This is an easy grab. This is an easy grab. Yeah. I think the Iron Spider suit, I think it was in the video game.
Oh,
so this is like,
yeah, okay.
I think it's making its appearance in the comic book. So
all the more reason to grab this. That's a no-brainer. Sure. That's what they call a lay-down hand in euchre right there.
Lay-down hand in euchre. Yep. I love the analogy that I don't understand. Number 5. Number 5. Void Rivals, number 1. This is Kirkman and D. Felici, if you already know about those two as a team. Yeah, you know their last book they did was a hit. It's already being optioned as a streaming series or a movie, I believe it is, one of the two. So, yeah, they're teaming up again. This is their next big book. They did Kirkman and Dave Felici did Oblivion song together. So, ignore this at your own risk. Void Rivals.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Kirkman's dropping something new. You just want to make sure you get it, right? You don't want to be, like I was talking about earlier, you just don't want to be chasing this later and upset that you don't have a copy.
You know what you don't want to do? You don't want to not listen to me when I told you to go buy The Ambassadors. Did you see the prices? Dude,
no.
Hold on. Talk about that. Let me do something real quick.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, a lot of these picks are picks that are great books, and they might be hot for a week. Some of these books, though, they're just obviously the right books to buy. Some of them for the very long term. Like I was talking about, I think, again, any new book from Kirkman, just buy it for your personal collection. If you want to have something to speculate with or flip, buy a couple more, put them in the vault if you need to, or flip them quick like J-Dub does sometimes, or split the difference. Get yourself 5 copies, flip 2 or 3, then everything else is free. Put that in the vault for the long term, right? That's why we do the FOC show.
Yeah, that's exactly right. As a matter of fact, let me take the camera real quick. I just want to show you guys as an update. So when I said a couple of months ago, I said, hey, I think Ambassadors is a great book. You should definitely get into it, blah, blah, blah. Dude,
are you going to show us a fistful?
I put my money where my mouth is.
I love to see this.
Dude, I have like so many copies of this. These go for like $25 a piece. Yes,
that ended up looking so good in print too.
Oh, this is a beautiful book, and I was saying, go out and buy. It's a great story. Like, go out. These books sell for $10, man, on release day. It's insane, but it's such a great story. I said the same thing at the beginning of the year. Maybe it was even last year. I was saying, go out and check out Charles Soule, the guy who wrote 8 Billion Genies. I was like, he's got a new series coming out, Hell to Pay. This is another book. Seth Rogen optioned this book. I mean, I have so many copies of Hell to Pay #1, First Prince, cover A's. Yeah, so
I haven't seen Seth Rogen have very many duds. Seems like he invests in the correct things, and then he knows how to make sure they get developed properly.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. So yeah, again with Void Rivals #1, Real Deal said he's by Mark Miller. For those who don't know, Mark Miller has his own division at Netflix. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They basically did with him what Nike did with Michael Jordan. They just gave him his own division of Netflix. Yeah. He pretty much has.
Here you go. Here's a budget. Here you go. Here's a budget. Develop what you see fit.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we know anything Robert Kirkman does is pretty much golden. So, I mean, look no further. Walking Dead, literally the biggest cable series in history.
Yeah.
You don't want to sleep on Void Rivals. You're actually looking at the 1-in-10 variant cover. This is the 1-in-10 ratio variant. So yeah, go ahead and make your plans to get 1 or 2 of these. Great synopsis. These are enemy soldiers trapped on a planet, and they have to rely on each other to survive. I'm definitely looking forward to this. Moving on to #4. All right, Dr. Paul, this is where things get juicier. Coming in at #4. I've been talking about this book literally since last year. It's one of my favorite new books. Dungeons and Dragons, Saturday Morning Adventures.
Oh, man.
I'm not going to move off my position. Okay.
Everybody, just put this full screen. You just got to see this full screen. Come on.
Yeah.
On
your left, you have the 1-in-10 variant. By the way, the 1-in-10 variant was the biggest selling book of 2023. Dr. Paul, did I not tell people to go out and get #1? The 1 in 10 variant sold
Bobby's
for
trying to sneak a beer. His sister's
go ahead.
scolding him. Bobby the Barbarian trying to sneak a beer. His sister's scolding him.
Yeah, I love it. I love all the details of this.
Sorry, you were saying.
No, that's fine. That 1 in
out.
10 number one variant sold for a record $79. I had like 5 or 6 copies of it.
I thought it was going to go through $80 because it hit 80 with so much momentum.
It did.
Yeah.
And really, you know what? I think it depended on who had the gonads to just go higher.
Yeah.
Like whoever just had the audacity to put one up for 100, they would have won.
Yeah. So,
but
how many were you able to get?
Of which one? Number one?
Yeah.
I got 5.
Oh wow! Of the 1 in 10?
Of the 1 in 10, dude, I went overboard on that.
Oh, did you tell me you went back into the marketplace after selling a few and bought?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. Some people, they went and sold too low. Anything under $40, I went and snatched them up.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I got my information wrong. Here, Dr. Paul, I was wrong. Let's show this.
Did it go through $80?
Yeah, here we go. I'm about to show you right now. Here, right here. Let me do it. And the reason I'm showing this, it's important for guys out there to understand when we do this show, we know what the F we're talking about. That's just, I can't say it any better than that. Hang on. Here, right here. There you go. Yeah. This is the all-time high.
Yeah.
The number one in 10 sold for $90.
What do you think the print run is? I mean, it's just, if you don't get it now, like maybe you can get it in the future. But honestly, if I'm a long-term collector of D&D, which I am, just buy it and put it in the vault. If you got a few, sell a few now, maybe, and then hold some. Right? I'm sure that's what you did.
What I did was I flipped. If you see anything on eBay around 70 range, that's probably me. But I flipped a couple of copies, but then I went back in the market and bought anything under $40.
Yeah, why not?
Why not, man?
Take advantage of the volatility, right?
Perfect. Absolutely. D&D for me, it goes without saying, it's got a built-in audience going back 50 years. Yeah. The movie was a blockbuster hit.
The movie was phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
it really was phenomenal. I think we talked about it, but I think it could be a full franchise they could build around going forward. They didn't even use so many characters in that realm. They just touched on and they sort of mentioned, but those were mostly new characters. And there's so much material to draw upon. They barely scratched the surface, and it was a phenomenal movie. I think that could be one of the richest franchises going forward if it's developed properly that we have. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. You have the built-in core audience of the original D&D players. You have the built-in nostalgic audience of this classic animated series, legendary, with the kids, and then you have the new audience with the movie. So what you're looking at here is the 1 in 10 variant on the left, but I was telling guys on Instagram, the cover Bs, they didn't even announce it, but they're connecting.
No, it looks like it.
When you put the cover Bs together, it makes one long mural, and it's awesome. So I've been saying, by the time people figure out what's going on,
you're going to be trying to go back and get those. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless you just watch the show, you already know.
Well, IDW knows what's up, and you know what's up. So at least your viewers got it going on here.
That's right. All right, coming in number 3. This is pretty easy. I am a firm believer in this character. Absolutely love him. Dan Slott and Ramos, they claim this is going to be a game changer. So Edge of Spider-Man number 3, the Ramos variant. I mean, nice. I'm all in.
Very cool cover, right?
Oh, love it. I love the photographic city with Spider-Boy Bailey. Just the energy of that character.
Yeah, it's a great iconic look. And yeah, King Kirby was playing around with these photo montage backgrounds in the 60s, but
Yeah.
it's still pretty powerful if it's done correctly.
Yeah. Ramos is doing a 1 in 100 version of this cover.
Holy
And then
smokes.
no, real deal. The 1 in 200 is actually Mark Bagley. It's a different cover. But Bagley's doing a 200. Ramos is doing a 1 in 100. It's basically a version of this. And then, of course, there's a bunch of exclusives. I don't really deal too much with exclusive. I like to hunt down open order variants.
Sure.
Ji Hung Lee has a variant. I don't think it's an exclusive. I think it's open order, but they haven't announced it. And then, yeah, they just keep rolling out all of these secret covers. But I just think the Ramos does the job for me. I think that's great.
Yeah, I think, you know, the problem with exclusives is that they can be so hit or miss, right? And if you're trying to play this game and, you know, consistency is part of the name of the game, and it's part of your success, right?
Right.
You don't want to necessarily swing for the fences with every at bat because you have a lot of strikeouts, right? It's better to be hitting just hitting a high percentage, some singles some doubles, some triples, occasional home runs, right? And it's it is much more difficult to do with the exclusives. I mean, sometimes there's true grand slams with them, but there's a lot of duds. There's a lot that are flash in the pan real quick. And if you didn't sell it in the first 10 days, you're going to be sitting on it for a long time. And there just isn't it's a very thin market, right?
Very thin market for exclusive. Yeah.
When I buy exclusives, it's usually just with an artist that I really like, a character that I'm really excited about a relaunch or something like that. And I just buy it for myself, not for speculation, because I love the art or the cover, or I really want like the rarest one of that book, right? Because it usually is.
We're going to do a show about exclusives.
Yeah. Because it usually is true that there's going to be some exclusives out there that are just 200 copies or 500 copies. And those are ultimately going to be the ones that only have a few dozen in the census typically. And, you know, so they really can be. But again, it's more like buy what you like rather than trying to buy something to speculate on with exclusives, I think.
Absolutely. Edge of Spider-Man 3 tells the origin story of Spider-Boy. Did you know? According to Dan Slott, Spider-Boy actually exists in the 616 main universe.
And that doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
There's a big mystery of what his story is, and it's going to be revealed in Edge of Spider-Verse 3. No, Edge of Spider-Verse, number 3. Coming in at number 3, no-brainer, Spider-Boy cover, open order, Ramos variant. Pre-order it. All right. Yep. Number 2. This one, I freely admit, guys in the trenches listening, I think this is going to be a sleeper hit. I checked it out. I loved the story. Oh, it was ridiculous. It was so good. It's very dark. Very dark. It's a horror story. I actually wrote Joseph Smalky on Instagram. And I asked him, I said, hey, Joseph Schmalke, like, hey, what do you think the print run is? And he responded. He said, oh, it's around 2000. Wow. I'm just like, around 1800? All I know is you got to pre-order this book to even get the book.
Yeah, no LCS. Well, I shouldn't say no, but not very many LCS are going to say, yeah, let's get a couple copies of this, right? Wow.
One of my shops.
Creepy.
I go to 3 shops here in Austin. One got none. One got 1. It was the one I ordered. And then one got like 4, of which I ordered 2. So the big story here.
They might not have even ordered 4 if it wasn't for you ordering 2. They might have been like, well, we're already ordering some. We'll grab a couple more, right? Yeah. Like, really? Who's ordering this book?
I tell you what, man, I read about this book a few months ago, and I was like, God, because I followed Joseph Schmalke on Instagram, and I like his previous work. And I was like, damn, this sounds like my kind of effed up.
Wow.
So when it came out, I pre-ordered it. I got a copy. You know, there are people on Instagram. They're like, "Hey, man, thanks for recommending this. I was able to find a copy." Yeah, there's less than 2,000 in print. So your store it will either have 2 copies or no copies.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? What's the estimate that there's around 2,500 comic book shops in the country, right? So that means if there's only 1,800 of these, the average shop got 0, right? It got less than 1.
Yeah, this is
because
actually
Midtown. Look, Midtown got what 50 or 100 of them, right? There's a couple other shops like that. Oh, I'm sorry, I said the M word. But there's a couple other shops like that bought a few hundred, maybe, right? Mile High, whatever, right? That means the rest of the shops got almost none. Just what if a few shops will put an order in for 2 of them, like you said. A few shops will order some for a guy like you. The rest won't order any.
This is actually cover B. So each printing has a cover A, B, and C. So you're talking about 2,000 among 3 covers.
Holy smokes!
Yeah,
these are going to be real ghosts.
Yeah, I put in an order, two of each, cover A, B, and C, but they limited me to 1. They wouldn't even let me order 2 or something like that.
Huh?
Yeah. I think. Do you know the synopsis about this story?
I know nothing. No.
There's a dark black magic school that admits every so many years they admit 72 students, but only 7 students will survive. And they train these students in complete darkness without sunlight in like a cave for 7 years.
Oh my gosh.
And they only allow 7 students to survive to be the next generation of black magicians. It's very dark. It's like Battle Royale meets Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's a little bit like the Darth Bane's rule for the Sith, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Great story. Oh man. If however you can, go find issue number 1 and read it. It's amazing.
Wow.
So it
that's
had
quite
to
an
make
endorsement. And that's super creepy, man.
Oh, it really is. I had to put it at number 2 just simply because it's so hard to get a hold of.
Yeah. This guy here was like, you try living in darkness for 7 years. See if your complexion's any better.
Hey man, listen. When you read issue 1, I wrote a review on my Instagram page. I'm like, I hope there's like a glimmer of humor or something. It can't be this dark.
To take the edge off.
Something. Yeah, that's well said, to take the edge off.
Wow.
So yeah, try to put it. And here's a weird thing. This book doesn't. I haven't found it on FOC lists yet. So this actually comes out in like 2 weeks. So you have now to order it.
Okay. Wow.
All right, coming in number 1, 25 years in the making.
Yeah. Okay.
If you are from Dr. Paul, we're from the 90s and the 80s. Anyone who was collecting books in the 90s, you know this was one of the biggest books during that era. And then it just stopped. And it became a cult sensation. What happened? It's making a triumphant comeback. And it's been trying to return for about the past 5, 6, 7 years. It's finally coming back. None other than Joe Madura's Battle Chasers.
What?
Yes. Battle Chasers is back.
What?
With the number 10. He stopped at number 9, like back in 1999 or something, 2000.
Yeah. I'm always looking through the bins for these when I go, looking through long boxes. Never seen.
Oh yeah, good luck with that.
Oh my gosh.
Dude,
Joe
Battle Chasers has one of the most rabid fan bases.
Well, and I'm a huge fan of Joe Mad. I mean,
yeah.
There's a few people whose art is just iconic. You know who it is when you see it. And he's somebody who took, one of the great things about McFarlane back in the day was he took the art a little bit away from the sort of photorealism of Perez and Byrne, who are great in their own right. Yeah. But he just cartooned it up a little bit. And by doing that, you can add more energy to the images, right? Yeah. And Joe Mad is somebody that then took what McFarlane did and built on it, right? I mean, he's got so much energy in the art,
Right.
and I love it. So is this
Huge,
cover A and B?
huge anime influence and manga
Of
influence.
course, yeah,
Yeah.
and some
Which
street
was,
art influence too.
yeah, and street art, graffiti art. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Joe Mad brought. So for those who weren't there, and I was there in the 90s, those are my teenage years, young adult years. Joe Mad brought a street art, almost graffiti quality to mainstream comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Really, and his almost his protege was Chris Bacholo.
Bacalo, yeah. I'm a huge fan of Bacalo too, right?
Yeah, the heavy line art, the street
Oh.
art, graffiti vibe. Yeah.
Bacalo's Generation X for me
Gene
is
X,
it's super underrated. It's a great series, and they're still sitting in quarter bins and dollar bins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, you're talking about the X-Men's Generation Next, right? Or was it Generation X?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was Generation X. I said Generation X because remember the first Apocalypse event, and then all of the X books stopped for 4 months.
That's right, Age of Apocalypse.
It was retitled during that, so my bad. But yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I always felt like Bacalo was kind of a cousin of Joe Mad.
Mm-hmm.
Their style, but again, we're looking at on the left this sexy Bacalo variant, Open Order, and this awesome Scotty Young variant.
Yeah,
again, Open Order. Lots of great covers. Listen, guys, there's so many great covers for Battle Chases. This is like the triumphant return. You have to get on board with this. These are going to fly off the shelves. They're going to print, I'm going to tell you now, they're going to print so many copies of these, all right?
It's true.
But it doesn't matter. This is
it still won't be enough. It still won't be enough because not enough people know. People are still going to sleep on it. And if this is anything like the first series,
dude, look at
momentum will build, and people are going to be chasing this number 10.
Dude, look at Jason Jamal Campbell. No, J. Scott Campbell.
I was going to say that.
Look at that. So let's talk about this.
That might be the one that I get.
Haha, right? Yeah, Red Monica. Let's talk about this. Guys, pay very close attention to what I say. When you order books from your store, tell them you want one of every cover. Dr. Paul, why do I say do that?
Because sometimes you're going to get a secret store variant or an appreciation thank you variant. Sometimes they're going to give you the 1 in 10 just for cover price, which is insane. So obviously that's the way to go.
God, look at that. This makes me so happy.
Gosh.
Steampunk,
sick.
Fantasy. God, this is my childhood coming back. I'm so happy right now.
Now, do you have the first series, the first 9?
I had it. I flipped them. Man, the red Monica, the classic red Monica cover. I had that joint.
Oh,
yeah, that's one of the most sought after covers like in history. And let me pull it up real quick since we're here. Well, there's some people who don't know about Battle Chasers, dude.
Right. Speaking of,
with the bazookas, the cliffhanger. Yeah. No,
so
this is
speaking of. This is going to make these. This is going to make these first 9 issues blow up. Like you want some spec. Go hunt the first 9 issues right now.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're probably already blowing up. I don't follow that like so closely that I know day by day what's happening. I look at more usually larger secular trends, right? But but that's also that's free money right there. Go buy those. Go buy those comics right now.
So let's do a recap real quick. Coming in at number 10 for all the Wonder Woman fans. Wonder Woman.
800.
Wonder Woman 800. This is the cover C, Jamal Campbell. Moon Knight, number 25, the debut of the MCU characters Scarlet Scarab This is the 1 in 25 Maria Wolf. New Incredible Hulk, Scotty Young, obviously, P.K. Johnson, Nick Klein. Gunslinger Spawn number 21, Cover C, Booth, Virgin, Open Order. Miles Morales, Spider-Man number 7, 1 in 10, design variant. Miles gets an Iron Spider suit. Pretty
Very
awesome.
cool.
Do not sleep on the new Kirkman DiFelici, Void Rivals number 1. Hey, go to your shop, say you want one of each cover. There might be a thank you variant for this. If you put your orders in early and request it, they'll probably just give it to you. Mm-hmm. This is the 1 in 10 incentive. Number 4, yes, I get on this train, guys. I'm telling you, when it's all said and done, Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. Yeah, Real Deal knows. Cartoon was phenomenal. It was a game changer.
Yeah.
It was a game changer.
There's we've got the DVD set, and my little girls watched it when they were younger, and it aged really well. They love that show.
Great. Absolutely, man. Number 3, the origin of Spider-Boy, the mystery solved. Bailey, Edge of Spider-Verse, Ramos variant. He has a 1 in 100 version of this. Bagley has the 1 in 200. Mark Bagley, number 2. This is the man. Oh, by the way, did I tell you this is a heavy card stock?
It looks like it. Yeah. This is typical of these small print runs, smaller indie presses, right?
This book feels good when you hold it in your hands.
Yeah.
Every issue is basically a 9.8 or higher.
Exactly.
And coming in at number 1, the triumphant return.
Wow, that's a hot list, J-Dub. I gotta tell you.
Here we are.
That's a great list.
Whew, man. God, I don't even know what else to say. What a great,
It's a great time to be alive. It's a great time to be a comic book collector. It's a great time to be part of this community. And wow, well, I love that list. I appreciate you sharing it with us.
Awesome. It was fun making this list. This was a tough list. You saw how many books did not crack the top 10.
Yeah.
5 books didn't make the top 10.
And I think there's 3 or 4 books there that, they're just literally lay down, they're no-brainers. If you want to put the energy into acquiring a few copies and flipping them, you will do very well. It's actually an easy game when you understand it. Maybe you got to put some work in, but it's an easy game when you understand it.
Well, you know what I thought about, and we're going to close it out on this. There's a community of us that shares so much valuable information. This is not, what we do is not normal, all right? Yeah. Like the general buying public, they're not privy to this level of information. This is like the faithful few. This is why we put together such great collections. Guys like Mo, MA3 Mo, Empire, other guys, they share information with me all the time. We share with each other. So this is a secret club that we're pretty much a part of.
That's how we're doing it, right? Look, why are we doing this stuff? It's fun to collect comics, sure, but who wants to sit alone in a basement and read comic books? We want to share them. We want to share our passion. We want to share the new things that we've discovered, and that's why this is so great.
Absolutely.
And I'm happy to be a part of it. So thanks again
for the invite.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I hate going to the store and I haven't done this in a while, but there's no worse feeling than going to the store looking for a hot book. There's no worse feeling.
And seeing that empty rack and being like,
dude, when I showed up, Spider-Man 7, the spoiler, everybody in there was getting turned away. It never even made it to the shelf.
No.
And what did I do? Like, hey, J-Dub, do you need your orders?
My bag.
Just hand it to you. And
just give me my pull bag, fellas.
Just give me my shit and let me go. That's how we do it out here. FOC Top 10. Hey, it's time to go watch the Lakers and the Nuggets, man. Game 2. So thank you.
Good time.
Thank you for showing up.
Thank you. No, it was great. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
As always, a pleasure.
All right, everybody.
And congratulations to Astro Wizard.
Yes, Astro Wizard. I'll reach out to him after the show on Instagram. He's the big one. Yeah, Void Rivals. Absolutely. All right, guys. Follow us on Instagram, Dr. Paul, at paul.kosnick, and Me at the Bad Boy Nerd.
Bye, y'all. Take care of one another.